Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome to another live video. What I'm talking about today is reading challenges, learning challenges, and educational challenges. And school is right around the corner. It's going to be starting back up soon. So I thought it was very timely to talk about this. And if you're thinking about your child from last school year, since you probably got to see firsthand this year, with them being home and learning from home, where they might be lagging behind. And usually any kid that is struggling with learning or picking things up in school, I almost always find that it's because they have a reading issue or a reading challenge. So anytime from about fourth grade on, it becomes very reading intensive for your grade level. So any subject you're learning about past about fourth grade is going to be very dependent on if you're able to read at an efficient level. So usually if you can't read at an efficient level, that's when you're going to start falling behind in other subjects, even though the main issue is just that they're not able to read very fast or very efficiently, or their reading comprehension isn't where it needs to be. So that's why I wanted to talk about reading challenges specifically today. And one specific reflex, so 50% of kids that have what's called an asymmetric tonic neck reflex report to have dyslexia or dyslexia-like symptoms. So that's why almost every single kid that I see come into the office that has an issue with reading or reading comprehension or reading speed, they almost always have what's called an ATNR, or an asymmetric tonic neck reflex. So what is the ATNR? It's a primitive reflex, so it's a reflex that we are born with. We have it as an infant, we actually develop it while we're in the womb, and then it should go away by about 6 to 7 months, by the time you're about 6 to 7 months old. And then what its job is it basically helps us develop. It helps our brain develop, it helps our eye-hand coordination develop, it helps our something called our corpus callosum develop, which is like the bridge between your left and right brain. So it helps develop that bridge so that we're able to use our left and right brain both efficiently. It helps develop our eye tracking. So it helps develop a lot of different things, and then once it develops what it needs to develop, it goes away. So I think of it like training wheels. It's good to have them, and then they're there for development, and then they should go away. So the ATNR should go away by about 6 to 7 months of age. But when it doesn't go away, that is what I'm talking about now. So the kids that are struggling with reading typically never got rid of that ATNR, so it's still present in them, and it kind of works as like an unseen force. So it basically doesn't let your eyes track the way that they should. So instead of your eyes being able to track really smoothly across a page, it's kind of jagged and it's kind of jumpy, and the eyes aren't as efficient as you'd like them to be able to read properly. So that's one issue with it. And really, when you have this ATNR, it just causes a lot of extra effort. It takes a lot of extra concentration, a lot of extra energy, which translates to being a slower reader and having lower reading comprehension. So different things that the ATNR can do is like have erratic eye movements. So what that means is the words are going to look like they're moving on the page, or maybe that they're jumping out at you because you can't get your eyes to do the proper movement because you still have this ATNR that didn't fully develop those eye tracking abilities. So obviously getting rid of the ATNR is what's going to help these kids the most. And then Harold Blomberg, he had a study where it showed motor exercises that targeted the ATNR and got rid of them significantly improved their reading ability compared to a control group. So that's obviously what we want to do, and what we have done with a lot of these kids is that they have reading issues or reading challenges or reading comprehension or reading speed. The first thing we want to do is see if they have that asymmetric tonic neck reflex, and then get rid of it if they do. So that's really how we would be able to help, is we would do like an examination, see if they have that ATNR, that primitive reflex, and then paint you kind of a roadmap of why it didn't go away, how long it takes to remediate these reflexes, which really isn't too long, usually a couple months in time. And then that's how we help. So we do an examination to see if they had that primitive reflex. If you're like out of the area or out of state or a long ways away, one thing you can do is we can work with you virtually, and we would do like an at-home examination where I would send you instructions to how to look for this ATNR. And then if they do have it, then we have like a packet of exercises that your child can do to remediate this ATNR. So that is the number one thing that I would do if your child is struggling with reading or learning or education, especially with the school year coming up. They're going to have a much easier time with the school year if you get rid of this ATNR, if they do indeed have it. So call me or direct message me for any other questions. I'd love to answer them. The office number is 402 504-4676. All right, have a good one, guys.